Away from It All, a comedy by Monica Ward, directed by Siobhan Bendel.
Paula Tremaine, played by Bailey Slayton.
Stephen O'Hara, played by John Abel.
Peggy, played by Hannah Habestreitinger.
Callboy, played by Mila Dawson.
Miss Piggenbach, played by Emma Gonzalez.
Messenger, played by Diana Dadabegi.
Listen, Pete, I've asked you time and time again not to use that picture of Paula. It makes her look like a tractor. I sent you another today. When did it go, Peggy?
About 4 o'clock, Mr. O'Hara.
Listen, Pete, it's down there somewhere now. Okay, boy? Thanks.
Flowers for Miss Tremaine.
All right, Sonny. Got a quarter, Peggy?
Here you are.
Thanks.
And next time, bang the door.
Half an hour, Miss Tremaine.
Well, Miss Tremaine, I guess I better be running along now. It's been a delightful interview.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Piggenbach. But remember, it hasn't been one bit more delightful for you than it has for me. Whenever I'm on stage, I'd feel like I'd rush right out into the audience and embrace my unknown friends one by one. But of course, one can't do that, can one?
Well, no, now that you mention it, I don't see how you could.
An artist's life is a lonely one.
It doesn't seem very lonely.
Stephen!
Yeah.
Miss Piggenbach is going now. Don't you want to say goodbye?
So you had enough of the big city, eh?
Well, you know how it is, Mr. McNamara.
Oh, Hera.
New York's New York, but home's home, I always say.
Truer words have never been spoken, Miss Piggenbach.
Besides, I promised Miss Chapin, she's our president, I'd be back for the next meeting. We meet on odd Wednesdays, you know.
Who does?
The homebodies, darling.
The girls are gonna be real interested when they hear what I got from Miss Tremaine. I said to Miss Chapin before I came, I said, well, Paula Tremaine may be a great actress, but she's a woman too.
Did you say that, Miss Piggenbach? Well, that's a right bright thing of you.
Stephen, we mustn't keep Miss Piggenbach any longer. I'm afraid she'll grow tired of us.
Oh no, Miss Tremaine. There's just one thing I like to have before I go.
Yes?
Your favorite recipe.
What?
Your favorite recipe, darling. You ought to see her in the kitchen, Miss Piggenbach.
I'll bet she's a caution.
She certainly is. Well, Paula?
You see, we got him from every celebrity that ever come through our state. Movie stars, WPA officials, Englishmen, everybody.
Then I hardly think Miss Tremaine would want to seem any less generous than a WPA official. Would you, darling?
No, dear. Well, it's...
Box of chocolates for Miss Tremaine.
Oh, put them on the desk. Now, let me see. What do I like best to make? Well, it's ginger cookies.
Oh, the common touch.
Yes, isn't it?
Now, let's see. You take 14 eggs.
14?
Miss Tremaine never stints on anything.
A tablespoonful of salt.
25 minutes.
Oh, thanks, Eddie. And 3 pounds of flour.
How many cups would that be, Miss Tremaine?
Well, I've found that people use different measurements all over the country. Now, some use gills and some use pounds, and the further east you come,
The cuppier they get.
That's right.
Where's my tip?
Ask Miss Peggy, please. Oh. Where were we? Oh, yes. Flour. Then 2 parts vermouth, and 2 pinches of pepper, and add some milk.
No ginger.
No ginger.
Well, I sure appreciate this, Miss Tremaine. And goodbye till next year. And don't forget, Mr. O'Halloran, if you ever come through our state, the home buddy's on odd Wednesdays.
It'll be an odd Wednesday if we ever do, Miss Piggenbach.
I could kill you for letting me in on a thing like that. She's an absolute fool.
Don't blame me, I didn't know what she'd be like.
You might know that anybody from Homebodies Incorporated is going to be on the corny.
Oh, keep your shirt on. I can't have your publicity handpicked. You're going on tour, aren't you? You want an audience, don't you?
I'd like to know what that has to do with acting. Ginger cookies.
I'd give $1 million for a soundtrack of that recipe. Don't worry, sweetheart. If they follow that recipe, there won't be any homebodies left.
From now on, I want it distinctly understood.
Tremaine?
Yes, Peggy!
I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but
20 minutes, Miss Tremaine.
I'm terribly sorry, but Mr. Tucker says you can't wear that chartreuse dress in the third act.
He says what?
Yes, the lights don't pick it up. They just flatten the color out.
You tell Mr. Tucker for me to mind his own business. He's only a director, not a fashion expert, and I'll wear whatever I please.
You'll do whatever Tuck says. He knows what he's talking about. The lights don't pick up chartreuse.
This is a fine time to be switching clothes, after I've been wearing that dress for a year and a half.
Look, just because you've been a stubborn fool all your life doesn't mean you can't change now, does it? You take care of the acting and leave the rest to me.
I'll do nothing of... If you had your way, Stephen O'Hara, I'd be out in Central Park frying donuts just for the publicity.
And it mightn't be a bad thing either. Who built you up to be the biggest star in America? I did. And if it weren't for... Hello? Yeah. Hold on. Yes. How do you do? The Busy Bees. Why, yes, I think she could. Just a minute. Paula, it's Miss Gilman from the Busy Bee Society in New Rockwell. She wants you to know if you can make it to an appearance for the benefit Sunday to autograph pictures.
Homebodies, busy bees! Tell her I'll see her in!
Miss Tremaine says that she'd be charmed. We've heard so much about your group and the fine work you're doing. What time? Yes, I'll wait.
Miss Tremaine, what am I going to tell Mr. Tucker? They've sent back the gown you used in the first dress rehearsal.
What color is it? Yes, Miss Gilman. We know the Busy Bees are white. Of course. 5 o'clock. No, not at all. Thank you.
Stephen, this is altogether too much. I won't autograph the Busy Bees and I won't wear that blue dress.
Paula, for heaven's sakes, keep quiet and listen to me.
Miss Tremaine, will you please tell me what I'm to say to Mr. Tucker?
15 minutes, Miss Tremaine.
Quiet! I'm not going on at all. I'm going to retire.
That's absurd.
Yes! I'm through. I'm through with theater. Something very fine has gone out of me tonight. I'm like a wilted blossom that has never had a chance to flower.
Peggy, get out. Leave the door open in case I need you.
Yes, Mr. O'Hara.
Now, Stephen, don't say a word. You can't make me change my mind. I'm at the end of my rope. All this madness, this insane hysteria. This isn't living. I'm not getting the finer things out of life. After all, I'm not only a great actress. I'm a woman, too.
Yes, of course, Paula. Come on, put on your eyelashes.
Stephen! I'm serious. My life is being wasted. I feel like an empty shell. Life is passing me by. I'm only watching it.
Paula, for the love
I'm
of...
sick of this sham existence. I want a rose-covered cottage in the country. I want a home and an earth that I can call my own. I want little ones clustered about my knee. I want peace with my maker and with my fellow man and with myself, Stephen. I want to be needed.
Paula, if you don't hurry...
And look at our life together, Stephen. We're only business partners. Tremaine and O'Hara. Why, we could be anything. Attorneys or pickle manufacturers, Stephen. I'm almost ashamed to say it. But I can say it now because I'm braver and bigger and more honest. Stephen, I haven't even been a good wife to you.
Well, now that you mention it, Paula, you haven't.
What?
Nope, you haven't. You haven't been a good wife to me. I never said anything because I felt your life belonged to the public. But now that I know you're a woman too, why, I think retirement's just wonderful. You see, Paula, I've always wanted to live in the country.
Oh, Stephen.
Yep, it's one of my dreams, you see. I was born on a farm. I used to go out in the fields and help my old man plow. My mother used to say you couldn't tell me from the horse we both smelled the same, and that's how I'd like to end my day, just as I began them.
Oh, would you?
I can just see it now, living in an old shack without modern improvements. You doing your own cooking, slopping around in the bedroom, slippers and no makeup. And me, smelling like a horse, simple earthly living as God intended.
Oh, you can see that, can you?
Clear as a picture, and there's another thing, Paula. You know, this is really a very good time for you to retire. After all, you're 32 and had 5 good years of stardom.
Well, what of it?
Now, you can't keep this up forever. Anyways, it's not as though you were a great actress, you were more of a glamour girl. Once your looks began to go, you'll lose the public.
Stephen O'Hara, are you crazy?
Come on, Paula. Let's be honest. Now I've been watching you these last few weeks, and you're not playing the show the way you did when you opened. You're hamming, you're overacting, you're chewing the scenery, you're playing to the gallery. You're not the actress you were a year and a half ago.
Oh, I'm not, eh? Well, you just mentioned one other actress that's been packing mud 660 tops for a year and a half, and I'll be very interested. I've got the biggest personal following of any star on Broadway, and you know it!
Oh, well, the public? What does the public know about acting? Wait until you open a new show and have to face a tough crowd of Broadway critics. Then you'll see what I'm talking.
Why should I worry about the critics? I've always had them with me before. Besides, they don't pay for their tickets. They come in on passes!
But that's not the point. Wait until they give you a few bad notices, then you're through. After that, what? A few flip-flops, maybe a contract in Hollywood, a couple of B pictures, then out like a light. Nope, settling down on the farm is a smart idea.
If you think I'm going to settle down with you and a horse on a farm, you've got another thing coming. And besides, I'd like to know who else but me could finish the run of this show.
Your understudy, of course.
Layla Hamilton couldn't play this part if she had Shakespeare, Noel Coward, and Eugene O'Neill collaborating on the lines.
That's just where you're wrong. I saw her at the understudy rehearsal the other day. The girl's great. She has a fine, tenuous quality that builds and develops and is just as good 2 years later as she was opening night.
The audience doesn't want a tenuous quality. It wants an emotional actress. It wants to laugh, and cry. And another thing, Mr. O'Hara, I noticed that Layla's been getting some publicity lately. I guess I don't have to inquire who's responsible for that.
I just wanted to give the girl a break. I'm telling you, she deserves it. She's marvelous.
Oh, really? Well, things have come to a pretty pass when an understudy starts getting space. And furthermore, who are you married to? Her or me?
Whom am I married to has nothing to do with it. It's simply a question of recognizing genius and giving it a boost in the right direction.
Genius! You can't pick 'em up on the corner for a dime a dozen any day in the week. You want to be very careful you don't boost yourself right into a divorce court.
There you go again, taking a personal attitude. An actress should be above such kinds of things.
Well, this actress is so far above understudy she doesn't even know they're on payroll. I'd like to know how long Bright Dawn would have run if we had that fine, tenuous actress, Layla Hamilton, playing the lead.
5 minutes, Miss Tremaine.
All right, Eddie!
Okay, you'll find out when you open another show.
Oh, you bet I'll find out, and you'll be right there with me to see that I get the kind of publicity I'm supposed to have.
2 minutes, Miss Tremaine.
Okay, Eddie! I'm coming. Where are my eyelashes? Ginger cookies. Washing, ironing, smelling like horses. Bah!
Okay, Mr. O'Hara?
Yeah.
Gee, she certainly got him in the palm of her hand, hasn't she? Listen to that applause.
She's a great actress on and off stage.